there, it's Jeannie Marie with Take a Walk with Your Angels and JoyFlames.com. What a question, eh? How can I get this person to change? Guess what? We don't. Each person changes him or herself. Now, on this note, those in the quantum wanted me to suggest this. If you have a loved one, somebody who's very dear to you, maybe somebody at work, it could be somebody who maybe you're not that close to, and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, if they would just act like this, I'd be okay, right? No. First of all, that's not real. According to those in the quantum, no matter how anybody acts around you or how they treat anyone or anything, that is not the source of your unhappiness or happiness. Because where does our unhappiness come from? Inside. It's nothing out there. We think it is. We think, gosh, if that person hadn't acted like that today, I would be having a great day. No, because it's just a mere reflection of something inside of ourselves that got triggered, because you could have that person act like that the same way next week and you would be, oh, that's where he or she is. They're coming from whatever experience they came from, that's why they're triggered. They feel like they've got the world crashing down on their shoulders. Wait a minute, maybe they just had something really tough happen in their lives and that's why. And all of a sudden your perspective starts to roll into compassion and understanding and empathy, no matter what they acted like. It doesn't matter. But their way of acting or his or her way of treating you doesn't have to, it never is what's the internal happiness derivative. It's not your touchstone. It's, I know a lot of people get really caught up, that's screwball, because of course I would have had a better day if I hadn't had that happen. You can have, and you'll see this happening throughout your life, where one day, you could even look back right now, look back on your life and think about things that used to really bother you, really got to you, would ruin a whole week. And all of a sudden today, if you had the same experience, it wouldn't even faze you. You would be going, oh, I get it. That guy had a major breakup. They were married 25 years and they're getting divorced, and there's a lot of strife going on and a lot of misunderstanding and a lot of loathing and resentment and bitterness. And all of a sudden, now you say it's 20 years later, you would watch a couple going through that, and all of a sudden you're doing whatever you can to support them in their evolution. You're going, huh, that's true. I don't get wrapped up in each person's individual journey anymore. So that's where all this is going when you think, well, okay, so that's bizarre, because yeah, I can look 5 years ago, I was really bothered by something, and today it could happen 5 times in a row when it wouldn't get to me. Okay, so about the change piece then. What those in the quantum say, as far as you are observing something right now in your reality and you're thinking that person is the cause for my misery, or he is not attending to me in the way that I want him to be, or she has been acting like a complete jerk to me, and you are looking at all this and you think, if they would just change, I'd be okay. So these are all reflections again, remember that. Now on top of that, the most beneficial thing you can do with any of these points of great distress, just reflect back peace, reflect back understanding, reflect back compassion, empathy. You will be very surprised if you hold it differently, rather than I cannot stand that person and I'm just throwing daggers, I don't even want to be around him, I think I'm just going to avoid him at all costs. All that does is you're projecting and rating everything that you don't like to feel yourself, right? Who wants to feel like they're not wanted, that they don't, deserve to have happiness or peace, or that people are thinking you as the B word or as the A word, whatever you want to call it. And so reflecting back instead, compassion, understanding, no matter if you have no clue what's going on in his or her life and why she is acting the way they are, and you're just reflecting, you know what, I'm just going to reflect peace, and then take it the one step further from those in the quantum. They say, send the intentions that they come to whatever it is that they really desire, that they experience the life that they really want, that they are reaching for the things and are no longer held back, that they are feeling, instead of a fear or a dread around the change, instead that they feel this excitement and thrill and the knowing that they can do it, and that there are no impossibilities, and they do have choices, and they can decide that change is a really exciting thing. I mean, if we all stayed the same from 3 years old on up, how boring would that get? I mean, You can hang on and grip and everything you can do to try and get your reality not to change up at all, or say you can't stand change. But what you really can't stand is the resistance in front of it, because that doesn't feel very good. So it's not the change itself, because that's what's egging you on. That's the nudge that's coming in. That's why you are feeling bothered or irritated, or that other person is really to the ends of their rope, is because that resistance has piled up so high, and they have this gut knowing they gotta change something up or it's gonna be miserable, right? So send instead, intend to the change being something that it has ease and flow in it, that has peace, that has excitement and thrill, that it has this great flare of curiosity about what is possible, right? Because as kids, we didn't fear change. We didn't think of change as horrible. We thought, what is gonna happen in my day today? What am I gonna see different that I didn't see yesterday or last week? I wonder what adventures I'm gonna go on, who I'm gonna meet. Like with the idea of even going and meeting new friends was exciting. So where did we get into this thing where you had to keep everything so boxed up? Not necessary. So intend that a person can receive those changes and thrill in the new horizons, thrill in the new realities, thrill in the new aspects that, 2 years from now, they're gonna look back and say, oh my gosh, if I hadn't taken those steps, maybe I'd still be stuck, or maybe I'd be more miserable. Maybe I'd be drinking more, smoking more pot, or whatever, out of I feel so disempowered and I can't do anything about this. And instead, your intention lands, every intention lands. So just sending that, you don't even have to talk to the person, just intend, hey, maybe he or she can experience some wonderful place of, I cannot take this anymore, it's bothering me so much, I have to do something about it, it's on me to do it, and I'm gonna do it. And you just sent to the empowerment of that person, rather than the disempowerment, which is all that they're never gonna change, they're always gonna live like this, they're gonna treat me like that, they're gonna treat their parents like that, that doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything, it just adds energy to their own resistance, right? See what happens. Hold space differently, send the intention differently. Remember that whatever you focus on grows, whatever you send to grows. If you're saying the person's never gonna change, they won't. They could maybe away from you because they don't have your energy piled up on their own of feeling like they can't. But in your eyes, in your perception, they will not be changing. Because however we observe things is how they are, right? Love you lots. This is Jeannie Marie, Blaha to Colorado. Take a walk with the angels, enjoyflames.com. Thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you soon.